Hello friends, Yuri Slutsky is here. Clients and real estate agent calls me Russian home inspector. I often ask, should I buy an older house? Nothing wrong with buying older house. Well, they come with charm and unique decor feature. There might be problems that you should be aware of. I highly recommend to have in your corner knowledgeable home inspector. Please watch my movie. I hope it will help you make an informed decision.
Let's talk about old houses. Please watch this movie to the end. We promise you will learn a lot of very useful information, especially if you are looking to buy an old house. Unwritten rule suggests that if a home is 50 years or older, it is considered an old. And if home is built before 1920, it is considered an antique. Here is a list based on combined home inspectors' experience with such properties. 1. Foundation or structural problems. Here is most common signs. If the foundation seems to be sinking, has uneven sagging floors, windows that don't close properly, walls has cracks, that's indication that you may have a foundation problems. According to Home Advisor, when the time comes for home foundation repair, expect to pay between $2,000 to $7,000. 2. Hazardous materials and dangerous gases. Lead-based paint. Deteriorating lead-based paint, peeling, chipping, chalking, cracking, damaged or damp, is a hazard, and needs immediate attention. Lead-based paint may also be a hazard when found on surfaces that children can chew or that get a lot of wear and tear, such as windows and window sills. Doors and door frames. Lead-based paint was outlawed in 1978. The average cost for deleting is around $2,895. Asbestos. Despite being as soft as silk, it could be used in different applications. It was called magic mineral. It had very good resistance to chemicals and heat, and had unique soundproofing characteristics. Asbestos was used extensively in home construction from the early 1940s through the late 1970s as highly effective and inexpensive fire retardant material. Asbestos is most hazardous when it is friable. The term friable means that the asbestos is easily crumbled by hand, releasing fibers into the air. Because it is so hard to destroy asbestos fibers, the body cannot break them down or remove them. Once they are lodged in lung or body tissues, they remain in place where they can cause disease. There are 3 primary diseases associated with asbestos exposure: asbestosis, lung cancer, and mesothelioma. Most of the asbestos manufacturing declared a bankruptcy because of numerous lawsuits. Many homes, businesses and public buildings constructed before 1980 in Minnesota still contain old asbestos, such as vinyl flooring, joint compounds, popcorn ceilings, insulation, chimney flue, gaskets, wallpaper and roof covering, to name a few. Asbestos and lead-based paint must be removed by professionals with special equipment to contain the hazard. The average cost for asbestos removal is around $1,976. A full home remediation can run between $15,000 to $30,000. Mold and mildew. Damage exposure to mold can cause health effects in some people. Mold spores are always found in the air we breathe, but extensive mold contamination may cause health problems. Breathing mold can cause allergic and respiratory symptoms. Radon. Radon is a naturally occurring radioactive gas that can cause lung cancer. Radon gas is inert, colorless and odorless. Radon is produced from the natural decay of uranium and radium, found in rocks and soil. Uranium breaks down to radium, and radium eventually decays into the gas radon. Radon is a serious public health concern in Minnesota. The average radon level in Minnesota is more than 3 times higher than the US radon level. This is due to our geology and how our homes are operated. In Minnesota, more than 2 in 5 homes have radon levels that pose a significant health risk. Radon is responsible for about 21,000 lung cancer deaths every year in US. Radon test kits sells at every building supply stores. Some Minnesota counties have free kits for their residents. Radon in Minnesota must be tested by homeowners or radon measurement professionals, licensed by Minnesota Department of Health. Their cost between $150 to $200, and it takes approximately 48 hours. Mitigation of radon in Minnesota can cost between $1,000 to $1,800. 3. Inadequate or unsafe electrical systems. Aluminum. Aluminum wiring starting being used in single-family homes as a replacement for copper wiring around 1965. Between 1965 and 1972, over 2 million homes were wired with aluminum. There are homes all over the Twin Cities with aluminum wiring. Many homes caught fire and people died as a result of aluminum wiring causing fires. Aluminum wiring failed at the connection points, such as splices between wires, connections at outlets, circuit breakers, switches, lights, and etc. Knob and tube wiring. Knob and tube electrical wiring, also called open wiring because the air is its biggest insulator, was commonly used in homes built from the late 1800s into the 1950s. Knob and tube is a 60 amperes, single conductor, ungrounded system. It gets its name from the porcelain knobs used to secure wires in place and keep them from contacting combustible surfaces, and porcelain tubes used to thread wires safely through studs and joists. Faulty electrical panels such as Federal Pacific Electric, Zinsco Sylvania, Challenger, Pushmatic, Wadsworth. These panels can send excessive electricity to appliances, causing them to overheat. An overloaded outlet can also lead to your appliances overheating. Poor connections and degraded wiring insulation are also culprits. Some of these electrical issues can cause a denial of insurance coverage. 4. Plumbing problems. Galvanized steel and lead pipes. Lead paint isn't the only lead you should be worried about when living in an old house. Your pipes can also contain lead pipes. Galvanized steel water distribution pipes were used almost exclusively in Minnesota homes, up until about 1950, when copper tubing began to replace galvanized pipes. Copper gradually replaced galvanized piping during the 1950s, and was about the only thing used for water pipes in homes by 1960, if the home was built in post-1940 through the 1950s. National average range of replacement of 25-foot-long galvanized steel main line, with PVC, using trenchless installation, cost between $1,500 to $12,000. 5. Drain sewer lines. Buyers are often surprised to learn that they are responsible for the sewer line from home property line to street main sewer. They usually think it's the city's responsibilities. Sewer line replacements repairs can be expensive and are often not covered by your insurance because it's the result of natural wear and tear. In addition to monetary costs, sewer backups can be messy and dangerous, causing flooding and leaking toxic sewer gas. Often, sewer scope inspection can detect a problem before it causes irreparable damage. Tree roots can clog the line, and one of the reasons for scope inspection is to find out what materials used to build your sewer line, to know if it can be cleaned with metal root cutters or only can use hydrojetting, because metal blades can damage PVC pipes and other type of materials. There were 17 types of material used for sewer line. Some of these materials has life expectancy of 50 years. For example, sewer lines constructed with Orangeburg pipes. Generally, the overall cost of a project that involves sewer repair is somewhere between $4,000 to $20,000 with average price of $12,000. 6. Problematic stucco. Studies were conducted by City of Woodbury, Minnesota. They collected and analyzed data of stucco homes in Woodbury. Below under this video you can find a link to these studies. Here are their statistics. 418 of the 670 stucco homes in Woodbury in 1999 have failed and been repaired, a rate of 62%. The average time from new construction to repair is 9.8 years. 47 of the homes have been repaired more than once. There is numerous reasons for stucco homes failure at an alarming rate. One of this, shoddy workmanship practices. Most of the stucco homes will tolerate minor amounts of moisture from interior sources. However, if there is excessive exterior moisture intrusion, the building will fail and secondary and interior sources of moisture will accelerate the failure. Stucco repairs cost from $8 to $50 per square foot. 7. Problematic stone veneer siding. There are 3 major problems with this type of siding: leaks, vent problems, and leaky windows. Most of the problems occurs because companies who installing these product failing to follow national standards created for adhered manufactured stone masonry veneer. Stone veneer siding repairs or replacement cost from $5 to $50 per square foot. 8. Inefficient windows. Inferior insulation. Though old-style wooden windows create a unique aesthetic, they can let in a lot of cold air. If you've ever felt a draft while standing next to your home's old windows, this indicates a small crack or seal failure that is allowing precious warm air to escape. In order to save money on your next energy bill, you should strongly consider replacing your old wooden windows with new vinyl ones. Outdated glass. Over the last several decades, glass has seen a number of substantial upgrades. While the glass of yesterday was nothing more than a single transparent sheet, the low-E glass of today has a special coating that traps heat within your home during the winter and repels unwanted solar energy during the summer. Many double-pane windows also feature gas insulation. Once the seals of your wood panel fail, your windows could develop condensation between the panes, which then invites mold into your home and rots the window casing itself. Difficulty opening and closing. 9. Buried oil tanks. Purchasing a home with an underground oil tank is one of riskiest moves a home buyer can make. That's because complete decommissioning and remediation if the tank were to leak, or if oil contamination is found in the soil, can be extremely expensive. We're talking upwards of $100,000 if a tank ruptures, which your homeowner's insurance may not cover. We understand there was a lot of information provided in this video and it is difficult to remember. That's why we want to bring to your attention a table with timeline for houses issues. This table was created by Ruben Saltzman, president of Stucco Home Inspections, mentor to many home inspectors here in Minnesota. He gave us permission to use this table. You can find a link to this image below this video. Please call us if you have any questions. 612-816-2363